Hello, this is the second part of my videos about why I left this sect, this cult. I was part of the Puritan Reformed Church in Brazil, and this church was hijacked by a movement, bigger movement, that's composed by other churches. And those other churches go by many names, like Covenanters, Stylites, Reformed Presbyterians, Associated Presbyterians, and they all have this same general idea and behavior and methods. These doctrines and the social pressure they exert, they are able to make even common people into something else, turn them into being able to commit acts of violence, of tyranny, or making them to silence in face of acts of violence and tyranny. And the way that they do these things, even over common people, is by using methods of brainwashing. We can recognize brainwashing because brainwashing has specific characteristics or methods. The first characteristic or method for brainwashing is behavior control. And behavior control is dictating how people should dress, what kind of professions they are allowed to follow, what kind of common job they are allowed to do, and what kind of health treatments they are allowed to use, and all those things that are part of your individual identity being removed to give place to the collective identity. One of the things that makes a difference between the behavior control and just being part of a group is that on those groups, do not having those specific behaviors is equated to being worth of hellfire. It becomes a matter of salvation, those circumstantial behaviors. And you are nurtured into having those behaviors by the use of the second method, that is information control. By information control, you discourage people from having access to information that's not approved or produced by the sect. What happened on this cult is that you are forbidden by a doctrine called occasional hearing. You are just forbidden to listen to any other pastors from any other denominations or to visiting any other churches. And you are not allowed to read freely any kind of book. You have to read the things that are approved by them first. And the children, they are homeschooled with the goal of then do not having free access to information, so that they can be just from early age used to only receive all the information that are approved by the cult. The third method is thought control. That is a requirement and everything that can be made to press you into internalizing the doctrines, the dogmas, the teachings, the behavior of the church as being your own behavior. Even if it's against your conscience, even if it's against your reasonable thinking, even if you have doubts, sincere doubts, like you are forbidden to think about those things. And if you happen to think about those doctrines and you have sincere doubts or criticisms, when you direct those criticisms against the leaders of the church and against the doctrine of the church, you are ostracized. You are attacked, you're considered an enemy, and people should avoid you. Initially avoid you inside the cult, and in the end avoid you completely in any sphere of life. The fourth way of brainwashing, of making this mind control over people, it's called emotional control. And by emotional control, the church, this cult, they make the members to have the specific emotional answer to external events that the church approves of. So you're not free to feel anything except the things that the church approves of. So if you have a feeling of friendship to someone and the church do not approve of, you cannot feel this. If you're not feeling like being in reading one chapter, 2 or 3 chapters of the Bible today, so if you're not feeling this, the church punishes you for this. The church teaches you that it's sinful to not have the emotional response to things that the church says that you should have. And if your emotions go on some specific places, if you are distressed or depressed or anything like this, the church will say that it's caused by your sin, and you have no rights, no freedom to feel those things. And when those feelings are caused by this oppressive environment, they make it even worse for you to even feel like this way. If you want to know more about brainwashing, there is a table designed by the cult expert Stephen Hassan, and the link is on the bio. And in this table you can learn how to measure up the movements and know if they are cultish and brainwashing or not. These groups, they are not well integrated as a big denomination. They are cultish, but they are some kind of movements. They are not so well established or so big as Scientology or the fundamentalist Latter Day Saints. But we should be aware of how dangerous they are, because the positions that are held by the current leadership, things that are there that are present on sermons and on classes, even if they are not all written on official papers, everything that they believe now, it's taking them into defending, and in the future, as soon as they have power, into practicing, into defending, practicing things like racial segregation, the complete dehumanization of children, the oppression of women, and even the establishment of some kind of theocracy over whatever area they can have power over. So that's why we are talking about those things. That's why that's concerning. They are not as big and as well established as those other cults, but they have dangerous beliefs.